If you've ever stayed late at work, then there's a good chance you've witnessed something truly horrifying in your office. The building management staff taking the contents of the recycling bin and putting them into the trash. Throwing recyclables out in the garbage bin throughout an entire office building is actually more common than you think. And the reason is similar to why you don't always recycle perfectly at home. Some non-recycling items will end up in the recycling bin. Some common offenders are paper towels, plastic bags, and straws. And at the end of the day, when the custodial staff sees garbage in the recycling bin, they deem the bins as tainted. Because they can't sift through every single recycling bin in the office and pull out the non-recyclables, they're left throwing their hands up and just throwing it all out in the garbage. It's a huge problem among consumers too. People throw recyclables in the garbage all the time because there's food on it, or maybe not all of it is recyclable. You know you've done it. And it makes sense. You don't want to mess up an entire recycling system because of the trash in it. But here's the thing. This idea of a tainted recycling bin is a complete myth. Most recycling plants have the capacity to sort out any garbage that sneaks in and keep the rest of the recycling flowing through.
We don't want people to contaminate the recycling a lot, but we do want people to think recycling first.
That's Michael Orr. He's the director of recycling for the city of Cambridge. He suggests following the 80-20 rule. As long as it's at least 80% recycling, it can be recycled. We should of course shoot for 100%, but a few offenders aren't a deal breaker.
Get as much of your recyclables into the recycling bin. On the back end, if there is one or two products that you accidentally put in or someone wasn't aware that they can't put in, they'll pull it out from the recycling stream.
It's 2017 and so many of us are still not recycling, and a lot of times it's out of fear of this totally ridiculous myth, leaving tons and tons of items in a landfill that could have been repurposed.
On Earth Day this year, I think a lot more people are thinking about how they can have an impact on the environment. And I strongly recommend people start talking about the issues of waste and energy, and not necessarily on your social media pages, but in person to your neighbors or to people you might not necessarily always talk to about these things. There's a lot of ways that we can act locally to affect the world globally.